गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Jnaneshwari Bhavartha Deepika, chapter 18, which is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita, verse number 2, and the verse says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. So what do the wise say? Who is a sannyasi? Sannyasi is he who has Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam. He who has given up desire motivated actions or activity. He is a sannyasi. And who are the others? The ignorant. They are performing activity prompted by desire. They are addicted to desire. They are the ignorant ones. So one is, see, remember, there are people who are involved in the world and there are people who are withdrawn from the world. What is the difference between them? The sannyasi is withdrawn from the world. How has he withdrawn, or how he must withdraw if he is not withdrawn? Because this instruction is not being given to a sannyasi. Sannyasi doesn't need this instruction. Then who needs this instruction? It is required by that person who has not yet got the knack of going through going through activity which is not prompted by desire. See, we are what? We have a desire to take this class at this moment. You have a desire to listen. We are all doing desire prompted activity. So this instruction that is being given, this Bhagwan, what is telling, he is not telling the person who has already withdrawn from the world. He is telling the one who is involved in the world. If you are involved in the world, this is what is, because Arjuna is involved in the world and he wanted to know the difference between sannyas and tyag. The sannyasi has got no doubt. He is not into intellectualization. He is established in dispassion and detachment. And non-performance of desire prompted activity is already established. Then what should the other person do who is involved in the world? He should do sarva karma phalatyaga. Then what will happen if he does sarva karma phalatyaga? It will lead to the sannyas stage by the grace of Lord as purification happens. See, sannyas disposition comes as a result of purification. Sarva karma phala tyaga, relinquishment is told. Nobody is telling give up your actions, give up your activity. Nobody is saying that. You're saying give up the result that is accrued as a result of the activity. Perform activity. And what we told you last week, what were the four different? There is nishedha karma, that is should not be done. Then there is kamya karma, that is desire prompted activity. They should not be initiated. Then there is nitya karma, daily activities, and naimittika karma, special activities. If you don't do nitya naimittika karma, you will go to hell. Because the sin of omission will be there. Then when a karta, when a doer, when a jiva is involved in nitya naimittika karma, then where should be his attention? His attention should not be on the result of nitya naimittika karma. See, your attention can go two ways. Either the result of your actions are seen in the world outside. So you are listening to the lecture, or I am giving the lecture. Is my attention on who is understanding or who is not understanding? What are your expressions? Or is the speaker's attention within his heart, within his mind, seeing the impact of these words that are being uttered? Because impact is there, result will be there. If you throw a stone in the water, ripples will be there. There will be ripples outside, and the stone, when it is going inside the water, there is disturbance of water inside also, which is not seen. Our obsession is only with the outside. But a seeker is he whose attention is within. He is not worried about what is the impact of his karma, what is the impact of his actions. When impact is on the actions, have I got my result, this result? Have I got a return on investment? Have I got, are my children following the diktats? Many parents want children to go to the samskar classes. They want to learn more about their culture, and you tell them you study Bhagavad Gita. नहीं अब तो हम बुड्ढे हो गए. And how old are they? In their 30s. And they want their child, who is only 5, 6, 7 years old, to have samskar, wants to be a good person, but themselves they don't want to. नहीं अब तो I am so busy with work. The child is also busy playing. Why you are forcing him to go to class? See, their attention is, those parents, their attention is outside. It's not within. When the motivated, here we were in the 128th OV, when the motivated action is renounced, it does not bind the prohibited action. It does not bind. When motivated action, when desire prompted activities are renounced, then It cannot bind the person. I explained last week, burnt rope cannot tie you down. That is the situation. Then, and the prohibited action does not get performed because of its prohibition. The seeker has come to recognize these are prohibited actions, not to be involved in, not to be desired, not to not to be initiated. Actions only get initiated when you are convinced that there is some return from that action. What is the return? Joy or sorrow? But if we have recognized that these are prohibited and they will only corrupt us, they will only deplete us, then we will stay away from them. Just as when the head is cut off, the body falls down, so with the relinquishment of fruit, the obligatory actions get destroyed. Which are the obligatory action? Nitya Naimittika. They get purified. Means a jiva, a doer, he is unable to give up Nitya Naimittika because his attention is on the result. But when he withdraws his attention from the result and continues to perform the Nitya Naimittika karma, the Nitya Naimittika karma may drop away or may not drop away, it doesn't matter. If they drop away, physically, the actual act itself drops away. And in some people, they continue, like Shankaracharyas, they are continuing doing the Nitya Naimittika karma. Whereas some sannyasis in the Himalayas, they are not doing Nitya Naimittika karma. But both are sannyasis. They come to that sannyas attitude. Just as when the head is cut off, the body falls down, so with the relinquishment of fruit, the obligatory actions get destroyed. As with the harvesting of the crop, the growth of the plant stops, so when all actions are destroyed with the relinquishment of their fruit, the knowledge of the self comes in search of such relinquisher. In this way, those who relinquish the fruit of all obligatory actions and renounce the optional actions, they become fit for the knowledge of self. See, our problem is we are all seekers. We have studied so much. We are regularly doing our puja, japa, yoga, pranayam. If you are whatever, something or the other you are doing, going to satsangs, being in the company of great sannyasis and mahatmas, going on pilgrimages, and when you come to the satsang, you understand also temporarily. Then why is it not sticking? It is only one reason. Shatka Sampatti has not come about. Vivek hasn't reached its zenith. Vairagya has not reached its zenith. And if it has, the mumukshutvam is there. But Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, this is lacking. Samadhan will come about only when we practice Sarva Karma Phalatyaga, which will lead to Kamya Karma Nyasam, which will lead to giving up desire prompted activity. See? So purify. Continue listening to satsang wherever, whichever teacher. Study every day, do your japa every day. But your attention must be within. Your attention should be on the divine. Your every day doing japa and every day doing puja and every day doing your nitya naimittika karma, obligatory duties in the name of duty, and your attention is on the result. And if the attention is on the result, what will happen when the attention is on result? The next verse will tell us. Precipitation of likes and dislikes. Either you like the result or you dislike the result. And that goes back into the memory as a vasana, as an impression. Then that again becomes a desire under the right circumstances. And the Chakravyuh begins. Anyway, we'll look at it when it comes. Now in the 131st. So such people as, see, I have given this example to you before. You are focused on sleep. And being focused on sleep, you are doing everything. Today by mistake I had some old milk in a coffee. And I don't know what happened to my stomach in the afternoon. And suddenly, so much tamas. My eyes were just closing, pulled. This is at 5 o'clock. And I just couldn't keep my eyes open, and I know I have to take shower, I have to get ready, I have to get ready for the class. Somehow I pulled myself from the chair, came to my room, but my attention was, I need a power nap. Attention was on power nap. Attention was not whether I am walking. Attention was not whether I am undressing. Attention was on sleep. And I laid down. Somehow I put the alarm, and the moment I touched the bed, I was gone for half an hour. But if I had gone the other way, no, I have to do this also, I have to do that also, I have to do this, I have to do that, then the sleep won't have, that urge to be empty, to enjoy the bliss of sleep, that would have not happened. So why did I have a power nap? Because I was focused on it. And because I was focused on it with such intensity, or it was pulling from within, whatever the reason may be. Here the reason was bad stomach. If we are being pulled within, it will be the result of, not for sleep, I am talking about meditation or a natural disposition to seek out the self. Where will this happen? This cannot happen out there in the world. This can only happen in your bosom. And when will this happen? When there is a sufficient amount of purification. What is that purification? Enough vairagya coupled with viveka. See? Mind has to be available. And vivek vairagya happens only because, not because you wish. It happens because you have assessed that this world is empty. It cannot give me anything lasting. See? So we have to do this, increase our capacity, increase our ability. And as the ability, I know you are all here, so you are ready to know. The readiness is there in all of us. Then why is it not clicking? Why is it not clicking? Because of lack of purification. Shatka Sampatti. And how do we begin with the Shatka Sampatti? There it is Shamadama, Uparama, etc. Same thing it is in another words. Very, very first step. And what is that? Sarva Karma Phalatyaga. Do not live life for getting results. We want to be happy after we get the result what we like. No. Let every action be an expression of happiness. Then see the difference. Then your attention is not on the result. Whatever you speak, whatever you are acting out, whatever you are doing in life, something or the other will always happen. Let it be an expression of happiness, expression of bliss. Not, if I listen to satsang, then I will be happy. If I do my pranayam, then I will be happy. If I do puja, then I will be happy. If I don't do puja, oh my God, I am feeling guilty, I didn't do my puja today. See? Where is our attention? On the outside. Give up the obsession with the results. Now in the 131st OV, ना तरी हे निगुती चुके मग त्यागू कीजे हात तुके तय काही न त्यजे अधिके गोवीची पडे जे औषध व्याधी अनोळख ते घेतलिया परते विख का अन्न न मानिता भूक मारी ना काय म्हणवनी त्याज्य जे नोहे तेथ त्यागाते न सुवावे त्याज्या लागी नोहावे लोभा पर चुकलिया त्यागाचे वेझे केला सर्व त्यागुही होय बोझे न देखती सर्वत्र दुजे वीतरागते. He says that if any try to abandon the actions somehow, they will not be able to do so. If anyone is trying to abandon actions, what is that? This is called escapism. You are tired of the responsibility of your wife and children and parents, and Swamiji, अब थक गए, now I want to go and can we join your ashram? That's why we don't have an ashram. All freeloaders will come and hang on and make me work. No ashram. The other day I went somewhere and they wanted to give me dakshina. Swamiji, do you have any project? Do you have any account? Do you have any organization where you like to give money? I said, I am the organization. No, I wanted to give dakshina. Arey, you want to give dakshina, you give. You don't want to give, you don't give. They want to see where the money goes. They give one shawl, they give one jacket, and then they'll keep asking, Swamiji, you are not wearing that jacket which I gave you. It is already recycled. once you have given something to someone, then it's no longer yours. But they want, Swamiji, we gave you that shawl. What happened to that one? Are you using it? Yeah, I'm using it to clean the floor. Swamiji, that was an expensive shawl. You're using it for cleaning floor. The value is, they're still carrying the value. Dana. Dana is for Artha Shuddhi. Artha Shuddhi means you come from abundance, and with that abundance you share with others. And once you give, you forget. Think. So here he says, if any try to abandon the action somehow, people try to abandon actions. I will not do this, I will not do that, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to eat food. I don't want to take shower. I don't want to do puja. I don't want to do Gayatri Mantra. I don't want to do Sandhya Vandanam. Do you want to sleep? Yeah, sleep I want all the time. If any try to abandon the action somehow, they will not be able to do so. As long as you are in this, expressing through this body, activity will be there of some sort or the other. But will get more and more involved in actions. When our attention is on the result, then we get involved more and more into the activity or actions. What is the difference between activity and actions? Activity is happening, it's involuntary, it's a phenomena. Ownership of that phenomena, it becomes an action. If a physician prescribes medicine without a proper diagnosis of the disease, the medicine proves fatal like poison. Or if one does not partake of the food, will he not die of hunger? Therefore, one should not give up action which is not fit to be abandoned, and one should not pursue out of greed that action which is fit to be abandoned. This is what I was telling you last week. Obsessions. We are obsessed. We get thought fixations. This is how we fall in love, not rise in love, like Krishna and Radha. We fall in love. We are not in love with the consciousness. We are in love with the body. We are in love with the food, or we hate the food. Some kids came today, they only use 2 words. I hate this. I tried to teach them, use the word I don't prefer this or I prefer this. No, I hate this. I don't like it. And if someone gets something else, oh, you stole it from me. The word is steal. The word is hate. What strong emotions are generated by these 2 words, and how they are programming their mind. If it clicks to them, if they are listening, good. But this is the story of every child. So if we involve in actions, it will lead to more actions. Action begets action. Activity begets activity. A wave will generate another wave. And therefore one should not give up actions which are meant to be performed. What are meant to be performed? Nitya and Naimittika karma are meant to be performed. Do it. What is not to be performed? Desire prompted activity is not supposed to be performed or should be avoided. Attention on the result of the activity should be avoided. And prohibited actions, even though they are easy, they are satisfying, even though temporarily, they should be, because they are prohibitory, one should not get involved in them out of desire. Because you get involved in it, becomes a habit after some time. Therefore, one should not give up actions which is not fit to be abandoned. So action must be done. We are not talking this to the sannyasi. Sannyasi has given up actions. His attention is not on activity. This is to the ignorant fellow who is lost in karma and upasana, in whom the karta bhav is still there. To this ignorant fellow who feels that I am a doctor, I am a master of philosophy, that I can give good lectures, that I have got a $150,000 salary, $200,000 salary job, is not equal to intelligence. It is not equal to intelligence. We think because we have cracked the poverty cycle and we have reached a certain level of income, so we have become successful. That is not success. Then is a sannyasi absolutely a goner? He has got nothing in his life. He doesn't have an income. He goes and asks for bhiksha. He is dependent on the nature and society for survival. Whether it be a sannyasi, whether it be a Brahmin. So are they unsuccessful? So all the rishis and all the sannyasis who don't work for money, are they unsuccessful? And they are more happy than us who are involved in action and get a return called salary or income. So you have to assess, what do we want out of life? We want money. How much? Or we want contentment, which will lead to moksha. Name of the chapter is Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Don't forget. So we cannot live without activity. Activity must be done. Because only through proper action we can purify. And what is the proper action? Sarva karma phalatyaga is the proper action. And that purification will lead to kamya karma giving up. Giving up of the desire prompted activity. It will not happen till enough purification has happened within your bosom. And when it happens, automatically you will be pulled in that direction. You will be pulled to inquire into the self. You will be pulled to revel in yourself. You cannot go to sleep until a critical point. To a critical point, the data of the world has not emptied from your mind. It can happen slowly, it can happen in one go. The abandonment of action without knowing the trick of relinquishment becomes a burden. Seeking sannyas, wanting to be a sannyasi, this is what happens to majority of the people. Today you see so many people want to join ashram because of the lifestyle, not because they want to, they are seekers of truth. They want to join ashrams, they want to join missions because they want to serve the society. They are not joining the mission, the ashram, to seek the self. The only way to serve the society is by being established in the self. Did Ramana Maharishi join any ashram? Did Nisargadatta Maharaj join any ashram? Did Anandmayi Ma join any ashram? Did Satya Sai Baba or Shirdi Sai Baba join any ashram? Did Shankaracharya join any ashram? He went to study. After study, he went away on his way. Neem Karoli Baba, Ramakrishna Paramhans. You have got enough data. Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Nivrutti Nath, Tukaram, Tulsidas Maharaj, none of them joined the ashram. Tulsidas ji was a part of a Gurukul. No doubt, but he was there for the studies. See? And here we are, we want to, we learn a little bit, we want to teach the world. Do 3 weeks course of pranayam or yoga and become a teacher. Learn a little bit of puja and start teaching puja. Listen to a few lectures and we feel that after few lectures we have become qualified to give a lecture. We want to, our attention is on improving the world. And what is the world? A dog's tail. Can never be improved. So missionaries will never come to realize. Why? Their attention is outside. This requires a special concussion. The abandonment of action without knowing the trick of relinquishment becomes a burden. So if we are giving up action without having given up our attention on the result, it will be a burden that you are carrying. It will pull you back into the world. It will be only temporary. And it will be frustrating. It will be frustrating. But men who are indifferent to the world do not even take a look at such actions. So those who are sannyasis, they do not care about the world. because their attention is not on the world, their attention is on the self. So again, two types of people. One is sannyasi, one type of person who is introvert, whose attention is within, on his purification, and as a result on the self, and in that single pointed pursuit of the self, he is indifferent to the world. Like a child who is playing with that toy, he is indifferent to the what is going on in the world. He doesn't care. He and his toy, or she and her doll. A baniya or a shetty, he is single pointedly focused on the money. One rupee must become 10 rupees. 10 rupees must become 100. 100 must become 1,000. Family doesn't matter. Children don't matter. Relatives don't matter. If anything is becoming a distraction, he will drop the distraction. He will remain focused on the money. Similarly, a sannyasi remains focused on the self, on the pursuit of self, not pursuit of improving the world, not the pursuit of actions, in the pursuit of seeking the self, by the self, in the self. And how has he come to this point? Not by abandoning actions. When he started, he continued to perform actions, but without attention on the result. That brings about purification. When we were studying in the ashram, many students were there who came, who studied, and sudden inspiration to study Vedanta. Why? Mercedes comes to pick up Swamis. Dakshina is got by the Swamis. They get to travel around the world. Some are posted in Australia, in America, South Africa, Europe. So this is a good lifestyle, man. Without doing anything, I will be sent. I will be wonderful. All that I have to do is 2 years of study, and I must have the gift of the gab. And if I can generate more donations, if I can give good lectures, I will be promoted. And promotion means transfer to America. Look, what is the motivation? Some of them came, I still know them, but they came to study Vedanta, no doubt. But the motivation was to find a husband or a wife, not to know the truth. And we had few couples who absconded from the course. What is their motivation? Is it to serve the world? Is it to find a partner? Is it to live, to have a lifestyle? Or is it to seek the self? That only each person can come to know, and eventually, whatever your motivations are, if purification is not there, it is seen in your life. it expresses in your life, because that kshanik vairagya, that sudden inspiration which brought you to the ashram, you become uncomfortable in that type of lifestyle if you don't get what you went there for. If you're not getting a proper transfer, if you're not getting the money, if you're not getting the recognition, you're not when you give lecture only dogs bark, then eventually you get what do you call disenchanted with the whole thing, and you go back to what urges were still there. Now you pursue that. How can I get all that which I wanted through the ashram life? How can I get it? Because ashram life didn't give me. I wasted my years. Now I have to go back. I have to go and do something else. Because we didn't go there to seek the truth. See? And this is what was told here. That relinquishment, first tyag, then sannyas. Majority people want to do sannyas without having lived a life of tyag, without having lived a life of sacrifice. This is what the life is today. People want, what is my right, what is my right, but what have you done for anyone else? Have you lived a life of sacrifice? Because he or she who lives a life of sacrifice, tyag, of giving up their comforts, their joys, their rights, automatically their whatever is needed by them, required by them for their growth, Lord takes care of it. But you must have heard many people, I did so many years, I did seva and I did not give anything. They threw me out of the trusteeship. I gave so much donation to the ashram, and the head of the ashram doesn't even talk to me now after taking the money. You want it to be used. What to do? That is not tyaga. Now in this next verse, the topic continues. Tyajyam doshavadyeke कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे. It says, some thinkers say that action should be abandoned, being tainted. Acts of sacrifice, charity and austerity should not be abandoned, so say others. There are do mat hain. There are two thought pursuits. Some philosophize by saying that action should be abandoned. Some people say that the good actions, they should not be abandoned. So now Jnaneshwar Maharaj talks about it. एका फळाभिलाष न ठके न कर्माते म्हणती बंधके जैसे आपण नग्न भांडके जगाते म्हणे. Some say that action leads to bondage, as one can never get rid of desire for the fruit of action. If a person calls a naked person nude, the latter latter in turn calls him quarrelsome. We come across such type of people. If you are laughing too much, hey, don't laugh too much, you will have to cry. If you are crying too much, don't cry. Crying will lead to laughter anyway. If you go to do something, someone yesterday, they had an accident, small accident. First day on the job, and the hired car got bumped, and Swamiji, what do I do? Then I went to the city because the person was shaken up. Immediate conclusion, I think I will give up this job. Immediate conclusion, abandon the job. Learn to get through. Every child, if he thinks every time he falls, I will stop, I will not walk anymore. Does a child think that way? So here it says, some say that action leads to bondage, as one can never get rid of desires. So they never work towards it. They never work towards controlling their senses. They never work towards controlling their emotions. They never work towards controlling their desires. Never done any pranayam, never controlled. They lived a desire-oriented life. Then such people will speak that way, that desires can never be given up. No, it is impossible, yaar. Desire can never be given up. Therefore they say that action leads to bondage. Remember, it's not saying activity leads to bondage. It's action leads to bondage. In action, there will be a karta, there will be karya, and there will be karma. As one can never get rid of desire for the fruit of action. So when we assess our life, how have we lived our life? Every year we were only studying in the school only to pass the final exam. Then we came to university, we gave only to get into medicine or engineering or pharmacy or this or that. Again, all result oriented. Desire to become a pharmacist, desire to become a doctor, desire to become a something. And therefore, we are performing actions, and if those actions are not giving us the desired result, then we shift our activity to something which can give us the result. Just like in the share market, this is what I have heard. You put money on certain horse race. If this horse is not giving me return, I'll put money on the other horse. Meaning all my activity is prompted by my attention on the result. See? And therefore, it is very difficult for me not to give up. It is very difficult for me to give up a result-oriented life. And I put that under success. If I am not result-oriented, then how will I become successful? Then I will be a failure in this society. Think. how we have programmed ourselves. If a person calls a naked person nude, if a person calls a naked person, नंगे को नंगा नहीं बोलेंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे? But then the other person says that this fellow is arguing, he is obscene, he is not correct, he is derogatory, and argue. Then this is what today's this is how the lawyers fight it out. This is how the politics is. So you can't say. So if you call a person, hey, if a person is looking like a woman, you call, hey, how are you? What is your name? और तुमने कुछ बोल दिया और they will take offense to it. If a girl is there and she has got 2 kids around her, naturally anyone will ask that who's the father. In America you cannot ask who's the father. In America, in schools, it is not. I heard this. If it is true, some of you, if anyone was in America, they can confirm. School cannot ask you who the father was. Only mother's name is required. Father's name is not required. Because mother also doesn't know who is the father. So it has become a law that you cannot ask someone who is your father. Continuing, का जिह्वा लंपट रोगिया अन्ने दूषी धनंजया आंगान रुसे कोढ़िया मासिया कोपे तैसे फळ काम दुर्बळ म्हणती कर्मची किडाळ मग निर्णयो देती केवळ त्या त्यजावे ऐसा एक म्हणती यागादिक करावेची आवश्यक जे यावांचुनी शोधक आन नसे मनशुद्धीच्या मार्गी जय विजयी व्यावे वेगी तय कर्म सबळा लागी आळसून कीजे भांगार आथी शोधावे तरी आगी जेवी नुबगावे का दर्पणा लागी सांसावे अधिक रज. He says, one who is fond of food gobbles all kinds of food and suffering from indigestion finds fault with it. This is our lot. Pizza, khao, dabao, pizza kha liya. And after every meal, why only pizza? Every meal, Ore baap re, I ate too much. I should have stopped at the second chapati. I ate, but you know, पनीर खाओ, पनीर रोज रोज रोज. उसके बाद constipation. Then blame the food. Constipation. If you do anything, like someone is there, chutney is not supposed to be had like a vegetable. Chutney or achar, they are only accompaniment. So when you eat with one piece of chapati, with little vegetable, you put it in your mouth and you take a little bit of chutney and just touch it to your tongue to add flavor to the whole bite. And one person at home, chutney रखी थी, सब्जी की तरह चटनी खा ली. And after that, blame the food. Certain things you can't eat in big quantity. Karela you cannot eat in big quantity. You eat a little bit because it's strong. Anything you overdo, it has its repercussions. And then we blame, and this is what is told here, that we eat like a bakasur and then we blame the food, finds fault with the food. A leper, instead of blaming his rotting body, gets angry with the flies which hover around him. Huh? You keep your body clean, you apply bandage. Because of your unhygienic life, you got that problem, but you are angry. Same thing, we are not ready to look within. We want to find a scapegoat. We want to blame someone for the misery that we are experiencing in our life. My body is aching. The chair must be at fault. The sofa must be at fault. The body must be at fault because it is aching. But never our attitude is at fault. And what is attitude? Acceptance that I am the body. That we have never worked upon. See? A leper, instead of blaming his rotting body, gets angry with the flies which hover around him. Blame everyone except yourself. In that way, the feeble-minded persons who are greedy of the fruit of actions and reluctant to relinquish it denounce actions as wicked and favor its total renunciation. So these weak-minded people, weak-minded seekers, we will talk about seekers here because we are in the 18th chapter. Sannyas is not wearing these clothes. Sannyas is not going to ashram. Sannyas is not going to Himalayas. Sannyas is not going and living in Varanasi. I know a person who is the Mahant of an ashram. I lived in that ashram for 6 months. Now he was a student there. Today he has become the Mahant. He is the head of the ashram. That particular ashram, and he did PhD from Banaras Hindu University. Having done the Banaras Hindu PhD, now Dr. Swami so and so. So that ego that I am a doctor is still not gone. What sannyasi? Swami Gadvadanand, IAS. So many Mahatmas. Yesterday only I was looking at someone. Can't remember the name. In some mission somewhere. He is a IAS. He was an IAS officer. Another was IIT professor. But that pride that I was an IIT professor, I gave up IIT to become a sannyasi. I gave up the post of IAS to become a sannyasi. But they have not given up. Because under the name Swami Paramanand, Swami Gadvadanand, Swami Confusanand, IAS, doctor, PhD, all that is still. So that means that fellow has not been left behind. He is still hanging on. And you must have seen it. I don't have to narrate more examples. Weak-minded. They are unable to give up. So these feeble-minded persons who are greedy of the fruit of actions and reluctant to relinquish it. They are reluctant to give up the hard earned post recognition of being an IAS, of being a professor, of being a doctor. They can't give it up. Therefore, they denounce action as wicked. Such people are the ones who denounce the action, who look down upon activity, who look down upon nitya and naimittika karma, who look down upon yajna, dana, tapa, etc. It is not to be looked down upon. So who are these people who look down upon these things? Yajna, dana, tapa. They are the ones who are unable to give up their obsession with the results. And therefore, they are reluctant to give up the fruit of action. Therefore, they want to give up the action only. And remember, what did the first verse say? It never said give up action. It said, on one hand, give up desire prompted activity, and the second relinquishment was give up the karma phala. Nowhere it was told give up karma. It was never told. You understand? Till the last breath, we have to be dynamically involved in life. We are alive right now. And as long as life is there, there will be activity. And let that activity be an expression of bliss and joy and happiness. Don't let activity, I am doing this activity because I want bliss, joy, happiness, tranquility. No. Then your attention is on the karma phala. And when activity is an expression of bliss, joy, contentment, then it is not born out of desire, then it is happening. Then you are in the moment, then you are in the now, at one with the activity, without ownership. Then you are 100% with the activity. Such people denounce action as wicked and favor its total renunciation. Such people want to run away from responsibilities. Such people want to run away from puja, yaga, yajna, dan, tapa. They don't want to do pranayam, they don't want to do yoga, they don't want to study the scriptures. They don't want to do japa. Then what do they want to do? They want to run away from everything. They are the cop-outs of this world. And they will ever remain frustrated because their approach is wrong. They have not given up their obsession with karma phala, and that frustration leads them to abandon the action itself. So they leave home, they leave the family, go to Himalayas, find a cave, and then do a bit of pranayam, sit down in meditation. And what are they thinking about? How will I left my young children, I left my wife, she doesn't even know how to operate a bank account, how, she doesn't have a professional degree, how she will be working, how she will be managing managing our children, and then commit suicide or come back home after some time. Think. These are weak-minded people. Strength in our mind comes when we live, when we perform actions because they are to be performed, not because we want something in return from the action. That leads to weakness. If our attention is on karma phala, it leads to weak mind. And such people, such foolish people, they call renunciation as giving up karma. If that was the case, then I should not be speaking, I should not be doing anything, because a sannyasi, I have given up. Given up what? According to them, give up karma. No. As long as, again we repeat, as long as life is there, be 100% and be involved in life. But not with desire. And nor with expectation of a particular result. देखो मजा मजा, अगर क्लिक हो रहा है तो अच्छी बात है. If you have understood, your actions will get refined. Your approach towards activity will get refined. And that refinement will lead to purification. That purification will lead to a natural urge to know yourself. A natural urge. Ramana Maharshi did not ask anyone. He did not attend any satsang. He did not go to any master. Please tell me what is my purpose of life. Nobody told him that you have to seek who am I. No, it was a natural, spontaneous urge to know the self. That must happen. If it is not happening, we are going somewhere wrong. Either we are living a life of karma phala orientation, or we are an escapist from life. We have given up karma itself and we call it renunciation. Or we want to improve the world, again result oriented. So correct your angle of approach. Understand the steps. First step is karma phala tyaga. It leads to sannyasa attitude, and from there you can jump the natural urge to seek the self. It will catch hold of you. Now you have to assess yourself. Is it a natural urge to listen to the satsang, or is our attention on the result of the satsang? Is our attention within on purification, or is our attention on the feel good that happens as a result of attending a satsang? Continuing. Others declare that actions such as sacrifice ought to be performed, otherwise there is no other means for the purification of the mind. Yet some others thinks that the sacrifice has to be performed to purify the mind. What is sacrifice here? Yajna. Yajna is also different types. I told you somewhere in one of the chapters. There is Dravya Yajna, Kriya Yajna, Jnana Yajna. Dravya Yajna is Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. You are using the Dravya, the materials, into the fire that you have invoked. Kriya Yajna, the Kundalini or the Kriya, that can be also generate the heat that is generated into that through the Kriya, the activity of pranayam. We purify ourselves because fire is purifying. Whether it is outside fire, whether it is inner fire, or whether it is the contemplative fire. And Jnana Yajna is the fire generated as a result of the inquiry into the self, discrimination. All these three are Yajna only. So some people say Yajna leads to purification and therefore it ought to be performed. Otherwise there is no other means for the purification of the mind. If one wishes to bring about early purification of the mind, one should not be sluggish in performing actions. Some say this way. One should not be sluggish, meaning one should be always inspired when performing actions. Who are people who are sluggish? Either they are tamasic or they are thinking that they are not going to die. There is still tomorrow available. Such people, manana, hasta manana till we meet again. Remember that Bee Gees song? So presumption is that I am going to live tomorrow, so I can postpone the action. I can postpone the yajna. I can postpone the meditation. I can postpone the shower. I can postpone the puja. And you do it a few times, it becomes a habit. This is called procrastination. Lazy fellow. This is tamasic vritti. Nidra alasya pramad. No. What is required to be done? You are 100% full of inspiration available at that moment. And not sluggish in performing actions. If one wishes to purify gold, one should not neglect to burn it in the crucible. If you want to purify the gold, you have to put it in the fire. You can't keep it in the vicinity of the fire and expect that it will get purified. It has to go through the fire treatment. Same way. What is the fire treatment to purify? Karma without karma phala. Which will lead to renunciation of desire oriented activity, that is sannyas. See, this is the fire treatment that we are exposing ourselves to. Nobody has to impose it on you. You have to choose. And how do you choose it? By understanding. Because you are always performing something, some action or the other is always being performed. What is your understanding with regards to karma? If one wishes to purify gold, one should not neglect to burn it in the crucible. From tomorrow, New Year's. Already the New Year has gone by. I thought I was going to start taking the name of the Lord from 1st January, but already 27th January is there. Okay, now I'll wait till the next 1st January. How many times have we done this? New Year's resolution, only to be postponed to the next New Year again and again and again and again. Jump into it right to if the urge is there from within, that I want that I should take the name of the Lord, dive into it. Oh, but I will miss my serial. Oh, I will miss my that show. Oh, I will miss that Saregama. I think I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow there is no serial. Gone. Tomorrow this inner pull will not be there. By grace it comes. When the metal is hot, you can mold it. Here the Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, until and unless the gold doesn't go through the fire treatment, it will not get purified. Same way, until and unless we don't expose ourselves to the fire treatment, we will not get purified. If one wishes to see his face in a copper mirror, he should not neglect to keep ashes ready to polish it. If one wishes to get his clothes washed, he should not call the laundry trough unclean. If you wish to see your face in the mirror, in the copper plate, you need to first shine it with the ash. If you want to see your face on a stone, then you have to polish the stone. If you want to see your face in the mirror, you have to have a cloth to clean the mist that or the dirt which is on the mirror, which is not allowing your face to be reflected. Just wishing that the dust should go away, it will not go away. Wishing that the copper should reflect my face, it will not happen. You have to get involved. You have to perform action of cleaning it up, shining it up. नाना वस्त्रे चोख हो आवी, ऐसे आथी जरी जीवी, तरी संबदनी न मनावी, मलिन जैसी, तैसी कर्मे क्लेशकारे, म्हणवनी न न्यावी अवहेरे, का अन्न लाभे अरुवारे, रांधितिये उणे, इही इही गा शब्दी, एक कर्मी बांधिती बुद्धि, ऐसा त्यागू विसंवादी, पडोनी ठेला, तरी विसंवादू तो फटे, त्यागाचा निश्चयो भेटे, तैसे बोलो गोमटे, अवधान देई. He says, if one wishes to get his clothes washed, he should not call the laundry trough unclean. In the same way, even if actions cause trouble, one should not abandon them. For can anybody get tasty food to eat without cooking it? Some dirt will come out, no? When you wash the clothes. So when karma is being done, some result will be there. Sometimes it is conducive, sometimes it is not conducive. And we have already said, your attention must not be on the result. Your attention is on the karma, on the action, not on the result. In the same way, if actions cause trouble, one should not abandon them. For can anybody get tasty food to eat without cooking it? Some people advocate the performance of actions by such arguments. In this way, relinquishment of action has become the subject of controversy. I therefore wish to explain to you the true nature of relinquishment and clear the controversy. So one should not abandon what? Actions. But some people say this. And that's what our Krishna Bhagavan is, by all this, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, by all these examples and the angle of approach, he is making sure that our right is to act. Our right is not to expect a result. Now take this mantra and jump into life. You will find you will be a tireless worker. You will be inexhaustible energy. When your attention is not attention on the result, seeps away our energy. But when our attention is not on the result, our attention is on the action and action alone, you don't get tired. You don't get exhausted. Now my expectation is not I should not be exhausted. Again it will be on result. Then whatever is being performed, it will be an expression of joy, happiness, inspiration, dynamism, clarity. And all these things can happen only in the here and now. Activity is taking place in the here and now. See, when we do this practice, this is not the part here, but I am explaining. When we do this practice in the outside world, when with the body, when you are acting, then when we come on the seat of meditation, Aham Brahmasmi, we don't look for the result. Otherwise, there also on the seat of meditation, Aham Brahmasmi, then I am Brahman, yaar. People don't know that. Because attention is on the result. So from the gross to subtle, we are training ourselves. Perform actions without attention on karma phala. Then when we come, remember activity is taking place, manasa, vacha, kaya. So when it comes to manasa, in the mind, you are on the seat of meditation and you are chanting Om or Aham Brahmasmi or I am Atma Brahma or whatever. You have practiced enough. Your right is only to perform actions and not expect a result. Then that will percolate into your being, and when you are on the seat of meditation, that habit will continue and you will not seek an answer in spite of the activity of that contemplation, contemplative thought. Whether it be a japa, whether it be an inquiry. But to expect, I am not going to do actions, I am going to only think. Arey Baba, thinking is also action only. So in this way, त्याज्यम दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदान तपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे. What we had just told you, this is what the wise men speak about. Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna. and through Arjuna to us. And who is this us? Are we like Arjuna, who is a dynamic personality, who is simple, who is straightforward, who is inspired, who is attentive to hanging on to every word of Krishna? Are we like him? Totally focused. Arjuna was focused. To such a seeker, these words are being told. Because as we are on our journey, distractions come out of, sometimes inadvertently they come. One slight attention on something and we are carried away, and it is time. We are getting carried away. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a few moments. Hari Om.